My best friend has been dreaming about a snowstorm lately. The temperature drops straight to -10 degrees. The power system completely collapses. We have no food and no clothes, and end up freezing to death in our rented room. I didn't take it seriously, but when she woke up from the nightmare for the 4th time, the events leading up to the disaster in her dream actually came true one by one. Perfectly accurate. The apocalypse is really coming. At over 4 a.m. Dragging my suitcase, I navigated familiar intersections, opened the iron gate of the rental house, and walked into the place where, after college graduation, I lived with my best friend Zhao Zhao. We rented this house in the urban village. At this time, she was sound asleep in the room. I sat on the sofa for a while, when a brief scream came from the room. I pushed the door open. "You had a nightmare again?" she said with a long face. I had that nightmare again. We both froze to death in the rental house with no food and no clothes. Zhao Xiao, still having lingering fears, wrapped herself tightly in the quilt. They say things don't happen more than 3 times. This is the 4th time. Do you think this could be real? While you haven't forgotten it yet, write down all the details from your dream. 2 minutes later, what is this mess? The landlord waiving a month's rent for us. That's just nonsense. Why would he give us free rent? I comforted her and told her not to overthink it, so she gradually went back to sleep. At noon, as we were eating, I took out my tablet to watch videos with my best friend. "You got a new tablet? Where did the money come from?" I sold my old tablet on Juan for over 1,800. Why choose Juan? Their prices are really fair. Higher than any recycling shop, I asked. Besides the tablet, previously my phone, game console, and luxury bags were all sold on Juan. It's especially suitable for people like us who want to sell idle items, but hate the hassle. Anyway, listen to me. If you have idle items to recycle, I recommend Juan. We were watching videos while eating. Suddenly, a message popped up on the phone. It was a notice from the landlord in the rental group, saying that they won the dragon boat race against the neighboring village, and decided to waive 1 month's rent for all tenants. Yay! We can save a lot of money again. My best friend cheered. Wait a minute. What did you dream about this morning? I looked at her. Her eyes turned from joy to terror. He waived our rent. Then, I opened Weibo. The #1 trending topic was about extreme weather warnings. I took out the note. Xiao wrote, "Today is the evening of the 6th. According to the timeline in the dream, the blizzard will start on the morning of the 8th. Binhai's traffic will be paralyzed before long. We don't have much time left. What should we do? Should we stock up on some food?" "No, I think we should look for a new place first. This room is less than 20 square meters. It's hard enough just fitting our clothes. Moreover, the landlord won't allow us to modify the house. Burning coal for heating in here is no different from suicide." I opened my phone. When I was working hard to save money before, I always liked to browse house-selling apps, fantasizing about my life after moving in. Therefore, I'm quite familiar with the houses in this city. Take this one on the 6th floor. It has a terrace on the top floor, making it easy to install a stove with an exhaust pipe. It has a certain height, so we don't have to worry about being buried by heavy snow. Moreover, there is a forest park nearby, which can be used for fuel supply. I was about to call the agent, but my best friend stopped me. But that was just my dream. What if those 2 matching events were just coincidences? After we prepare everything, if the disaster doesn't come, then the money we worked so hard to save will all go down the drain. I looked at the balance in my bank card and remained silent for a while. My ordinary bachelor's degree isn't considered high in this fiercely competitive big city, and neither is my salary. After working hard for 3 years, my savings are only tens of thousands. Xiao Xiao doesn't have much obsession with buying a house. Her savings are only over 100,000. House modifications, winter clothes, fuel and food. This time, stocking up will exhaust all our savings. I believe in your premonition. Money can be earned again, but we only have one life. If the disaster really doesn't come, we can eat the stock supplies ourselves, use them up, or resell them. But if the disaster comes and we are unprepared, then it will be a dead end. I called the agent. This house had been listed on the app for a long time, without being rented out. The agent was eager to get rid of this hot potato. He told me to prepare the deposit and 3 months' rent for tomorrow, so we could move in by the morning. After signing the contract, I found a renovation worker from the northeast, paying them above the market rate, to have them finish the work as soon as possible. I asked them to follow northeast standards, to install double-glazed windows and wall insulation layers, as well as a stove with a chimney. The main door also had to be replaced with an explosion-proof one with good sealing. Although the worker was a bit confused about installing a stove in a subtropical city, I brushed it off, saying I was doing it for someone else. The worker laughed and didn't say anything. In the afternoon, we continued to purchase fuel and stock up. After an afternoon of sweeping through stores, I bought everything I needed. I asked the supermarket staff to help deliver the supplies to the south gate of the neighborhood. As I was carrying boxes into the apartment building, I used my peripheral vision and saw a somewhat familiar figure. But when I turned around to look, there was no one. At this time, my best friend dragged a bag of honeycomb briquettes over. When you just came in, did you see anyone outside? I just saw someone standing there. But when I turned around, he was gone. I asked her as we walked towards the elevator. No, don't scare me in the middle of the night. Zhao Zhao looked at me with some confusion. Could it be that you haven't slept well these past 2 days? So your eyes are playing tricks on you? Did I really see it wrong? I rubbed my dry eyes and continued to carry the supplies. When we got home, we had absolutely no energy left to clean up. Everything was piled up in the living room. Dinner was instant noodles with sausage and an egg. After eating, Zhao Zhao said she wanted to take a comfortable hot shower. I walked out onto the large terrace on the second floor of the duplex. The wind tonight seemed to be colder than usual. But is the snowstorm really coming? Tossing and turning all night. When getting up the next day, I shivered from the cold the moment I got out of bed. Yesterday it was 28 degrees, and now it had dropped to -10 degrees. The sky outside the window was gloomy. The first snowflake drifted down from the sky. The children in the neighborhood excitedly went downstairs to watch the snow. The adults sensed something and went out one after another to stock up at nearby supermarkets. The top floor duplex we rented is quite large, with plenty of storage space. There is also a wind-solar hybrid system left by the owner on the terrace. However, under extreme weather, it probably won't generate much electricity. We tried to use as little electricity as possible. Heating would mainly rely on coal. Electricity would mainly be used for lighting and charging our phones and the radio. By nightfall, the temperature had already dropped to -10 degrees. This was an unprecedented low temperature in Binhai. Many northern cities even dropped to -20 or 30 degrees. Both of our phones received SMS alerts advising citizens to reduce going out and appropriately stock up on supplies. The abnormal temperature drop caused citizens to flood into supermarkets for frantic shopping. Supplies were quickly snapped up. Those who went early got something. Those who went late were left with nothing. We had a simple dinner and went back to bed to sleep. After a few minutes, I suddenly sprang up from the bed. Did you dream about when the power would go out? It seemed to be a week after it started snowing. I'm not sure either, but it shouldn't be today. What if it's different from your dream? And the power goes out and the temperature drops in the middle of the night? Will we freeze to death in our sleep? Don't make yourself so nervous. How about this? I'll set an alarm. And get up every 2 hours to check. Let's get a good rest today. And start taking turns keeping watch tomorrow. Okay. She turned off the light, and we quickly fell asleep. I woke up several times during the night. Thankfully, there was no power outage. When the 8 a.m. alarm rang, the sky outside was still as dark as night. The snow was heavier than yesterday, and the temperature dropped to -20 degrees. Wearing thick clothes, I walked onto the second-floor terrace. A thick layer of snow had already accumulated on the terrace. I collected the top layer of snow, and the part directly touching the ground. I shoveled downstairs. In the blink of an eye, 8 months have passed since the snow disaster began. Power is starting to be restored. The last time power was restored was 3 months ago. At that time, the snow stopped for a full 15 days, and the temperature rose quite a bit. News on the radio said Binhai was taking this opportunity to repair power lines and transport supplies. Everyone thought this disaster was going to end. But in the early morning of the 16th day, the blizzard made a comeback. The power grid was paralyzed again. The roads that were finally cleared were once again covered in thick snow. Overnight, all of everyone's efforts went down the drain. Today is the 10th day since the snow stopped. Power supply is restored again. Although we don't know how long it will last this time, it at least proves that people have never given up hope. According to radio reports, shelters are being built everywhere. Binhai has also set up over a dozen emergency food distribution points. It's just that the roads are not yet clear. Going out is not easy. I've also heard of many cases of people fighting for supplies and harming others' lives. Under extreme circumstances, people will do anything for a bite to eat. The radio reminds citizens to guard their doors and beware of strangers. Fortunately, in this remote neighborhood of ours, there were originally few residents, and no one knows we live here. So, it shouldn't be likely for anyone to come rob our house. I kept watch all night while listening to the radio. In the morning, I took a comfortable hot shower, scrubbing off all the dirt accumulated over these days. Zhao Ying. I don't know how long had passed, but I gradually heard my best friend calling me. I opened my eyes and asked, "Is it time for me to get up?" No, someone is knocking outside. Knocking on our door. I instantly lost all sleepiness, doing a sit-up and springing out of bed. I glanced at the clock. It is now 2 p.m. I heard outside the window the nightmare-like sound of the wind ringing out again. The blizzard is back. The small desk lamp turned on before going to sleep has gone out. It seems the power's out again. My best friend looked a bit panicked. What should we do? Could they be coming to rob our supplies? I thought to myself, that shouldn't be right. No one knows we moved into this neighborhood. With no time to think, I grabbed a machete and an axe from under the bed. I prepared these to collect firewood in the woods after our fuel runs out. And they are also good weapons for self-defense. I told my best friend to grab the fire extinguisher from the other room too. My mom used to forward me short videos about using fire extinguishers for self-defense. This thing can catch the other party off guard. The knocking continued. This door is still very solid, and the walls were thickened for insulation. Forcing entry wouldn't be easy. I made a she gesture, praying that after getting no response, the person would assume no one lived here and leave on their own. In the dim living room, only the sound of our 2 heartbeats remained. Zhao Ying, Zhao Zhao. Don't hide inside and stay quiet. I know you're home. He actually called out our names accurately. If you don't speak up, I'll tell the whole neighborhood that you've hoarded supplies and let everyone come rob you. His nasal voice was heavy when he spoke, but this voice was inexplicably familiar. I suddenly remembered moving coal and the figure I saw downstairs in the building that night. It's him, Lou Ryan. Lou Ryan was my college classmate who transferred to our major in our sophomore year. It's me, don't worry. I mean no harm. I just want to make a trade with you. Lou Ryan said. His family bought a house in this neighborhood years ago, just on the 4th floor of our building, because it's close to a branch campus of their school. Here, he would occasionally come back to stay for a few days during holidays. The person who saw me downstairs that day was him. Originally, he saw me carrying coal and thought it was very strange. Overnight, the temperature in Binhai plummeted. He realized something was wrong and followed my lead, hoarding a lot of fuel. It's just that he bought too little food. He wanted to use coal to trade for some food with me. Why are you here alone? Where are your parents? They are on vacation abroad. Originally, I wanted to take a flight there, hearing it was a bit warmer there. Unfortunately, the flights were cancelled. Holding an axe in one hand, I used my fastest hand speed with the other to throw out the packaged food bags. Then, I quickly pulled in a large box filled with coal and closed the door. We endured for another 4 months. The blizzard that lasted nearly a year finally stopped completely. The temperature steadily rose above zero. Municipal repair teams cleared the main roads. Supply transport vehicles continuously drove into the urban areas. Emergency distribution points resumed stable supply. The chaos of fighting for supplies gradually subsided. Our once constantly tense nerves slowly relaxed. The laughter of children echoed downstairs again. That apocalyptic winter that froze the city became a warning carved into our hearts. From then on, we would still frequently stock up on basic supplies, but we no longer had to live in the nightmare of freezing to death in a rental house or in its shadow.